Well, I'm glad we're out of trouble now.
Yeah. No! What's going on?
What just happened?
Oh no. We're in Wales.
Oh no!
What I mean is, we've been eaten by giant space whales.
Oh no, that's not too bad.
They're 73 yards long space whales.
Oh no, that's long! What's happening now?
It sounds like it's talking. Let's listen. It sounds like they're having a space whale election.
These space policies are pretty good.
Oh
no!
That's where I live!
Me too!
I guess the universe is gonna end then. That doesn't give us much time to talk about the latest episode of Doctor Who, 73 Yards. Do you want to chat about it now?
Yeah.
Yay! Yay. Hello!
Hello!
Hello.
Meant to be here.
Hey, sorry, a little bit late today. I literally just made the intro now.
I was watching it live with you guys.
We just got swallowed by space whales right now. It's not. It's all real. It's all real. It's very, very real.
Very smelly in here right now. Very, very smelly.
Yeah. Hope you're having a good day, Jerry.
George,
you want to talk about 73 yards?
Well, we just said we would just then.
Yeah.
So
let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should get my notes up.
Well, first of all, what were your expectations for this episode? Were you excited or?
Did I have any expectations? I don't know if I knew. I don't know what the hell was going to happen, because all we got was them in the pub, which looked a bit like a Midnight kind of sequel, which would have been fun. But then we also knew the politics stuff was going to happen in that, and I've got no bloody clue how that was going to tie in. So I was sort of happy for anything as long as it was good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I'm similar. At one point, I thought, "Oh, people have got it wrong. The politics thing isn't in this episode," because it was from looking at it. But beforehand, it was like, well, this just seems completely different from the pub stuff that we got teased. Especially as Russell said, it's like a folk horror story. Yeah. So I just thought it was not going to be in it, but I was. Whatever. I guess we'll get into it. Should we start at the start?
Well, it'll be weird to start at the end, so I think we probably should.
Yeah. So yeah, we all saw the clip because the BBC likes to post a lot of clips now.
Without a title sequence.
Oh yeah, the lack of which doesn't even fuss me. To be honest, I didn't even notice. I don't know what it says about me.
The moment it said Ncuti Gatwa as the episode started, I was like, they've cut the bloody title sequence.
Yeah, I don't mind it though. I mean, although you'd think they'd cut it because of time, maybe, as being 1 point, maybe, and they could get more in. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just for atmosphere. Set the tone. This is different from everything else. Yeah, I don't mind it. Jumped straight in. It was a good start. But like I was saying, if you follow the BBC on anything, they've posted the first bit anyway, which is a bit spoilery, really, because it is obvious as soon as they get out the TARDIS and the Doctor's like, there's this baddie. He's gonna blow up the world. Oh, forget I told you that because you're not.
Don't let me tell you about that baddie. He's very
one
bad.
Specific
Hope that
baddie
doesn't show up later.
And then the Doctor immediately steps on the fairy garden, which I saw other people complaining, but it's funny how we get 2 episodes in a row where the inciting incident is the Doctor stepping on something he shouldn't.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And if it was like such an important thing for people not to, and you know, we don't know if the villagers truly did set it up, but if they did, if someone had, and it was meant to be this powerful, you know, ward against evil, why didn't they put like an actual warning sign up or fence or, you know, because there's other people around. We see the hiker.
It was also like the most windy spot in Wales, so it would easily just be destroyed by the natural weather.
yeah. The elements.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a bit weird. But you know, I'm not a big. Are they called fairy circles? I'm not big on fairy circles, so I don't know. Maybe you can't cover them up. Maybe they have to be mysterious. You know. Yeah. When the Doctor disappears and Ruby, she goes behind the TARDIS and she's like, "I hope you're not having a wee behind here," and I found that funny. Because the TARDIS is literally just there. Yeah.
Is that he's gone for a second. He's pissing on the TARDIS.
Yeah. Or off the cliff.
Instant.
Off the cliff, yeah. Yeah,
like he even weirder.
Like he A wouldn't go beforehand, or B just go back into the TARDIS. He just chooses a moment to slip away from Ruby and go for a waz.
Silently.
Yeah. Yeah, like she wouldn't notice. So that was funny, and it brings me to my first question. I know the Doctor disappears, but was there a reason why the TARDIS just wouldn't open for Ruby?
Okay, I've got it doesn't say it. It doesn't say, but I've got a bit of a theory. Okay, and it kind of ties into what happens later when Ruby comes back to the TARDIS. She's an old woman.
Okay.
Spoilers.
The TARDIS
is surrounded in flowers and notes that are styled in the exact same way as the fairy circle thing.
Oh yeah.
So to me, that implies that whatever was banished, if anything was banished from that circle, the Doctor stepping on it meant he replaced it. So then the Doctor got banished, and the TARDIS became the new banishing circle.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Because it literally surrounds the TARDIS, and they even say, "Why is people putting flowers over there?" So, and
I thought that's more just like a subconscious thing, like people know something sad has happened here. You know, it plays into because the TARDIS perception filter is an important part of this as well. I thought it was just like people know this is a place of mourning, but they're not quite sure why.
I agree, but also I think if you look at the paper and the handwriting and the flowers, it is the exact same. Like even down to the handwriting and the way it's little scrolls of paper, it's the exact same as the fairy circle. So it feels quite intentional.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
But yeah. A lot of it's just theories, really, because it doesn't explain anything. So you've all got to come up with your own little explanations, which is
yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so Ruby then heads off. We get a Susan Twist cameo. A lot of lines in the chat says, "You ever think about how there's always a Susan Twist at the end?" Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Ruby kind of thinks she recognizes her, which is interesting because the only time she's properly seen her. Oh wait, she did see her on the screen, right? It was only the Doctor that.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Although I wouldn't. I'd be like.
Well, Ruby says, "Haven't I seen you somewhere before?" And then she goes, "I don't think so." And Ruby goes, "Oh no, that was in. No, never mind." So I think she recognizes it silly, but just subconsciously knew it was her face, right?
Yeah, it was my favorite Susan Twist appearance yet, purely because we got to see more of the acting. I mean, like if we're talking memes, like give it some willies, like the best one, but you know, we get to see some of her like acting come through, and
she's very good as the ambulance.
Yeah, but it was, you know, she's a robot. This was more like a hint, I guess, of what she might be like as the big baddie.
Maybe not though, because it really seemed like she was actually just a genuine hiker. Maybe it might just be a Clara thing where she's been splintered. Like if she's got this time travel company or something, like people are theorizing, she's been like split throughout the timelines, and that's it. So it's just different versions of her.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely a big mystery. But when she Ruby gets her to go talk to the mysterious creepy lady. I guess we should backtrack a little bit actually, because I don't. If anyone's to watch this for like a recap as well, we've just skipped over the part where the doctor steps on the fairy circle, the doctor disappears, and then there's a spooky, creepy old lady granny.
Doing like
the hand. I was watching it back when I was editing like memes. I zoomed in on her in the distance when she's doing the hand thing, and that to me was creepier than just her being there. That like it was really unsettling because it was the same thing every time. I even watched a 10-minute video of the most common sign language signs, just in case it was something like that. But I couldn't find anything.
Well, I've translated it to two things. I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, I think that she did that a lot. That's forgiveness, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Weird. And then she kept doing that where I couldn't figure out what that was. That is me or I. So it could be a variation of that.
Well, presuming forgiveness is the next word, it could be I forgive you.
Well, the other one was... I believe the other one was quite similar to give that I saw. So it's either I give forgiveness or give me forgiveness.
That's an interesting idea. But then why would...
But it might mean nothing anyway. It might genuinely just be because she did say words as well, and the words are essentially gibberish and meaningless. In the script that she was given. So it could just be the same thing where the language of sign is also just gibberish to her.
Yeah, that's true. TBH Saxon says doctorwho Unleashed said what the sign language meant. Oh, okay, there we go.
No, that was a it was kind of a it was her script essentially. So she was saying those lines to those actions and then kind of performing those emotions. So they went through what she was saying, but it's not necessarily the translation of what she was signing.
Okay.
It essentially none of it matters, and there's no actual answer. Come up with your own bloody ideas.
Yeah. Well, I'll be checking up on it anyway, because last couple streams back, you kept saying that the little boy was called Harvey. So, sorry, that was uncalled for.
It was a low blow.
Yeah, sorry. It's interesting. Her presence was genuinely creepy. And when Susan Twist goes up to her, I did laugh a little bit at the way she's like, no! And she's running away with her walking. Hike faster. It was that was funny. I think a lot of people missed the point with everyone's like, oh, what did she say? What was she saying? What was she saying? I think it was way beyond that. It was kind of like, it reminded me of like a bit Lovecraft. Like, it's just beyond human comprehension.
Specifically those Lovecraft short stories where there's not really an ending. It's just the concept of something happening and there's nothing you could do about it. You just have to live your life knowing that you're doomed. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
In this timeline, I stepped on the fairy circle, and now he is called Harvey. Says Adam Reed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no. Now the Harvey's always 73 yards away from you now. You got to live with that forever. Well done. Don't be stepping on fairy circles, son.
Fairy circles, is that a used term? Fairy circles?
It's a real thing. I think
I looked it up. It's toadstools, isn't it? It's like a natural phenomenon.
There's the natural one where the mushroom toadstools form a natural circle.
But is there like a man-made thing?
Yes, I remember when I was younger, we have like field and parks near me, and someone had actually made one, which was creepy. Okay. You know, just in the middle of the field. And it's very similar. Oh, I jumped on it like that.
You've been stalked ever since, coincidentally.
Yeah, because I disrespected it so hard. They're not only 73 yards away, but there's 73 grannies constantly haunting me.
The same woman.
The same woman 73 times, yeah. Damn it, I should never have done that.
Be scary. The idea that every day a new person is like following her. Oh god.
Yeah. One thing I thought they would do, talking about the following thing, I thought we would get I think I said to you, I theorized with the politics thing that we was going to get the granny was going to be symbolic of the doomsday clock, and
yes,
as Ruby lives her life and it gets closer to the nuke day, the granny edges closer and closer and closer, representing it's almost mortality here, and then that would be pretty scary because at some point Ruby will have this old lady right in her face and no one else would see it, or whatever. I just think that'd be really scary.
Yeah,
but agree. That's not what happened.
It's kind of though. It hinted at that thing at the very end when she got closer, and then she turns and Ruby sees her face, and then she dies of fear, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that was scary. I mean, we're jumping ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dictionary says new pub crawl just dropped 73 yards of beer. That's funny because when the titles dropped and stuff, I thought of I don't know if you like Peep Show, when they're on the stag do and Jez orders them 2 yards of ale, and that was like one of the first things that came to my head.
73 yards of ale, please.
And Jez is like, we're just a couple of yardies with their yards of ale. And that's in a pub as well. So it's all connected. Yeah, it's all connected.
Must be.
Hooniverse
Peep Shows is part of
Yeah. So moving on, we get Ruby goes to the pub. I love that scene. That whole sequence was probably my favorite of the episode.
Although it's a bit weird how weird they are.
And the synchronization of weirdness, like they're in on the joke and it's done so well.
So they're instantly all like they do it every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And specifically the emo guy. He was really weird. Like just even before they started messing with her. He was really weird.
Well, he was the one that lended the most credence to it being real, because he was saying things like, he'd come for me first. Like, that was just suspicious, like, in a genuine way. Like, why?
Yeah, and he was like, he wouldn't come here, he would go home. And things like that. Yeah. He's a very creative individual.
Yeah. The elderly... Oh, I don't know the actress name. The one with the beret. She was really, really good and creepy.
She's fantastic.
What was it she coined? Semper distant? Was it?
Yeah. Distance.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Distance. It was. That was really good. Yeah. And then their joke is so well crafted between them all. I don't know if they knew that the bloke with the pastries was going to arrive.
I guess
the timing
they
was perfect. Yeah. Yeah. But
Mr. Modius says in chat, the phone payment thing. Really weird.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just a natural question. Oh, do you take can I pay my phone?
Well,
and they're like, no, with the phone.
No, the point of that was the point of that was meant to. They're basically making a point that people, outsiders, who come to like rural parts of anywhere, but in this instance Wales, believe them to be like behind in the times, or because they get quite uppity at Ruby. That's why they play this joke on her. And the elderly woman says, "Everyone thinks we believe in fairies." Well, I take problem with the question because I don't think. I mean, maybe younger the kids these days do say, "Can I pay on my phone?" But surely the more sensible thing is, do you take contactless? Like you wouldn't say on the phone because it's essentially contactless.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they needed to say phone for the rest
joke
of the bit to work. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it was on purpose having the Coca-Cola cost £5, because that's another thing that can happen where these close-knit communities might charge tourists a little bit more. I don't know if that was that.
Yes.
If it wasn't, I don't know what the hell they're charging £5 for a Coca-Cola for. It's ridiculous.
It's just part of the joke. They just hate her.
And oddly, £65 for a room, which I thought was incredibly good value. That's such short notice as well.
Compared to the Coke, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess she doesn't get many visitors.
Well, I'm not surprised. I bet their TripAdvisor score's rubbish. I went into the pub and they bullied me. They charged me £5 for a Coke. Yeah.
They bullied me into thinking I was being haunted by a demon going to murder me.
They paid this man to walk in with pastries and knock on the door. Yeah, one out of five.
Pastry man. He's always outside waiting for the next newcomer.
Yeah. And they had no breakfast. The reviews would also say they only had yogurt and bread for breakfast. I think that's all that they had, isn't
it? Yeah, that's a bit weird. Pubs normally do something.
Yeah, very strange. But yeah, that was probably my favorite bit of the episode, just because of the vibe. And then it just goes a completely different direction, which is fine.
A very different turn.
Yeah,
very different turn.
It's fine because otherwise it might be too predictable. Where's it go from there?
The train. Train scene. That's a good scene. I like that one.
Train scene.
Train scene.
What train?
The one she was on.
I don't remember her being on a train.
What, you think she just walked back to London?
Well, there wasn't a scene. No, I know she didn't walk back to London, but was she on a train?
Yes, there's a scene where she's sitting on the train and she looks out the window and the woman is like on every street she goes by.
Oh, what? I completely missed that. I have in my notes.
It's the next scene.
I have in my notes that she just goes.
She ends up home, and it cuts to her on the train.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember that. And I watched it twice as well. Well, no. I don't need a scene. Look, I don't think you need to have a scene on a train. You can assume she got home sensibly because she phoned Carla anyway, so they knew the situation. The train scene is the new Harvey, says Adam Reed. Yeah.
Oh god! If it turns out the train scene doesn't exist either, oh god! I'm gonna rewatch it. It's not there. It's gonna scare me.
I'm gonna check. Because
the pastry man equals the newest godlike magical being in the Whoniverse, says Adam Reed. And that'll be good.
Okay, I'm scrubbing through now.
Are you actually checking right now?
Yes. It's so the woman's like, "Get out of my pub." Ruby goes and sits at the TARDIS.
Oh yeah, she says.
She goes and says goodbye. Oh my god, there is a train. There is a train scene. There's a train scene. Okay.
There's a train scene.
Here we go, George. Live reaction. Okay.
Zoom in on your face for this bit.
Okay, I'm watching now. Oh my god!
She's there.
She's everywhere. She's outside every window. Ah. Okay, now she's home. So that's the bit I remember. I must have completely blanked out the.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a good scene.
It is a good scene. Yeah. I guess that goes to explain a bit of how she teleports, actually, because I was going to bring up how I would personally get a boat and get out of there. I know Ruby has her reasons for not doing it, but I wondered if she.
It's one of my favorite lines.
If she if the woman phases forward or like she's running or like that. I think it's kind of like it updates at logical points. I think like the train.
I don't think it's an update thing. I think it's more Ruby's in Ruby's like consciousness. It is just always there because there's a bit as well where she says if she's in a room with no windows and stuff, she will feel the presence outside. It's just I think it's in her essentially. She's like projecting this thing because it's always just there in the corner of her eye.
Yeah, it's always with her. Well, I like that. That's like bonus content.
Yeah.
For me.
Exclusive.
Exclusive, yeah. Thanks, Jerry.
No problem, man.
Because the next bit I have is so I've got the locals are meanies and don't believe in the circle. Actually, I suppose we should address that actually. So the locals, do you think they actually believe in it, or was it all a joke? Is there some truth in it?
Right. They don't believe in it, but there has to be a certain element of truth in it because they also say about the boundary between the land and the sea, like the Doctor does, which implies to me that it is just some magical rumor from the land. They don't have to believe in it, but it's just fairy tales where they grew up, right?
Yeah, because Mad Jack is mentioned, and that comes to be true. So,
but is that,
or is it a coincidence?
A coincidence, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she waited like 20 years for that to pop up. Surely, eventually, someone called Mad Jack would pop up in her life. You know, I think it's a coincidence because even after she stops him, nothing happens. It has no effect of her life. It's basically a distraction, that whole sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how it's not clear who built the circle and whether it's true or coincidence and all that. You know, it could be completely separate. And it gets people talking, and I think that's what Russell wanted. But where do you draw the line? Because I like horror movies that are kind of open-ended, but there's ways to do it and ways not to do it. Sometimes it does feel like you couldn't think of an ending, or you want to seem smarter than you are because you've set up all these pieces and then like, oh, what's going on here? But you don't actually have the answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. The things they say about the cliff tops are a boundary between the land and the sea, a liminal space, neither here nor there, where rules are suspended. I like that. It's cool little thing. And then there's the blood, all throughout Wales, stuff like that. This land is a powerful place. It's said that he walks through the gaps, the spiteful one. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and that the visual, the form of the old grandma was chosen to go toward whoever broke the circle. So that wasn't Mad Jack themselves.
No. One thing I find really interesting is, well, I guess it's okay. Well, okay. Let's go to the Ruby's mum bit before I go to this. I think it's
okay. So what I wrote down, Carla's plan for chatting to the woman was decent, sound-minded. I mean, she wasn't to know it wasn't going to work, or that she would go a bit crazy.
You say that, but there's a bit where Ruby said she explains that anyone who talks to it goes mental, and she's like, "Yeah, but only Welsh people." I'm like, "Well, that's not really a scientific method."
Actually, you've turned my mind around on it actually, because Ruby had two. Although, what is it they say? 2 times as a coincidence, 3 times as a trend. Is that something people say? Because it only happened to 2 people.
That sounds right.
Two people Ruby witnessed go a bit doolally, but yeah, Carla, the phone thing is sound enough, but
yeah, that's clever, but I'm not sure she thought about the rest particularly.
No. Oh, did you? Was it at this time? Oh yeah, it was. It was slightly before. Carla really rips on the Doctor, and so does Cherry actually.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's more
no
because it's more because he's dumped her essentially in their minds, right?
Yeah, they're not going to be like, "Oh, you're the one in the wrong." They want to make her feel as good as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. The weird thing about that was her saying about the shed. She said they go into their sheds and potter things women shouldn't know about on a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a funny line. I like the idea that she genuinely believes the Doctor's just been in the TARDIS for the last few weeks.
Yeah, he just slipped away and locked her out for no reason, just to potter around.
To look at his naughty magazines or whatever they do.
Oh, did you see the edit I did, Jerry? Of I interspliced it with Clive.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, so it goes. It's the thing with men, the men in their sheds, and then it cuts to Clive. I'm in the shed, if you know what I mean. And then when Carla says, and the things, what was it? The things that women shouldn't know about. And then it hard cuts to him going, the Daniels family of Southampton. Like, that's some big secret.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
But anyway, Carla goes and has a little chat. I got some Slenderman vibes from that because the noise that came through, it was kind of when you get close to Slenderman.
Static.
And then she's affected.
She looks like.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's a good
love
line.
that bit.
It's a good line.
Well,
she looks like what she is.
Ooh,
so good.
I like that because it's the TARDIS's perception filter has something to do with this, and either that's what is aiding to this brain scramble, because people can't quite place it. The perception filter's making them unsure.
It feels like there's 2 technologies fighting each other, and one is some kind of ancient technology made with flowers and string, kind of sci-fi magic, and then there's the TARDIS, which is hard sci-fi, and they're kind of battling over each other to do stuff. To modify the world or whatnot.
Yeah, I like that. I like that maybe the perception filter is what's driving people insane. Either that or this being is, paradoxical. It shouldn't be here, and it's hard. Like Lovecraftian, you can't wrap your head around it. It just sends you bonkers. There's a lot there. To understand. I love it. Yeah.
My next note is taxi.
Yes, I loved this bit. I laughed a lot. How Carla sprints away and gets the nearest taxi. She run like a flash.
Immediately sees a taxi. Instantly, just
What's the plan? In. What's the plan? She's just leaving home.
She's just go, go, go.
Yeah. Drive me as far as £100 can get you. That's all I have. Yeah. But the way that the car passes by and Carla's just like as it goes past, it's so bad ass. It looks like a music video.
So funny. You just want us to be like,
yeah.
It's a good
I love
such
that.
A funny Such a funny shot. I love that.
Mm.
And then she disappears for a while, and then she just locks Ruby out the house. But it never quite explains what Cherry thinks about all that.
Yeah.
Surely she's never spoken to old Granny, so isn't Cherry just sitting in the house like, what's going on? Get Ruby back.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean Cherry's not in the best positions to be fighting Carla on it, and I guess if Carla's just like she's just she's nothing to me now, just leave it at that. Unfortunately, I don't think Cherry could do anything.
I don't think she could do anything, but I think she would. I don't know. To be fair, she has a lot of fight in her, but it is. I don't know. I felt like they needed to explain at least what, like, Cherry's on my side now. Something like that.
Yeah.
It just felt like, well, what happened to her?
I'd like to see that conversation. Mr. Modia says the same registration plate as Sean's taxi, but that's probably just a production thing. Yeah, Sean Temple Noble has the same taxi. Someone pointed that out on Twitter, which I found funny because that could have been a funny, like, very little cameo. Just Sean in the driver's seat.
Well, yeah, you want the shot of her mum, and then the camera pans, and then Sean's doing the same look.
yeah, that'd be great. Dictionary says these days, if you stand exactly 73 yards away from someone for their entire life, you get arrested and thrown in jail. Yeah, it's just what has this world come to, right? A lot of lines says the Doctor could fit a pretty gnarly model railway in the TARDIS. To be fair, that would be awesome. Oh, that would be so cool, actually, for a TARDIS railway, model railway to be constantly going around the TARDIS.
I remember, these like Christmas videos people make of like a fireplace for like 10 hours, and then you could put that up on your Italian Christmas or something like that. Doctor Who did stuff like that of the TARDIS, and they had a little railway going through the console and stuff on the 13th Doctors. I remember that, yeah. So it's canon.
Everything's canon to you.
Everything is
canon. Yeah. Okay, so Ruby has no one to turn to. She's locked out. With the snow in that scene, do you think that was her or just incidental? Surely it's not incidental.
Even your real mother doesn't want you.
Oh yeah, I thought. That bit reminds me of. I don't like
the curse of Clyde Langer
when she's acting that way, because we had that in.
Oh yeah.
In the Church on Ruby Road, where she's like, "Never wanted kids of my own, but I take them in £30 a pop or something like that to take care of them," and it's like, yeah, this was weird.
Yeah, but I love the way she always talks like, I don't really care.
Yeah. I don't care. You're not my child anymore. Yeah. But yeah, do you think it was Ruby causing the snow there? Because it would be a bit weird if it was just actually snowing.
It had to have been, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea of every time it snows, Ruby's like, "It's me." It's just winter.
Because I thought maybe the snow in the episode was because at the end, Ruby says how it hasn't snowed for ages. And I wondered if the snow was kind of representative of her abandonment issues, and that because I think she'd sort of healed and accepted that at the end of her life. So maybe the snow was meant to represent the trauma of it's gone.
She stopped caring about that bit of her life because she knows she's not going to.
Yeah, because the snow represents the day she was abandoned, right? So if she's no longer making it snow, then she's no longer thinking about it.
Let go of it, yeah.
Although the abandonment issues in this, I honestly think we didn't really learn anything new in this episode. Ruby, she doesn't seem that hung up about the abandonment thing as much as I think they want you to believe. Like
even when she's in her 90s, she's like, I've had quite a good life, even though everybody left me. I'm still happy. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's nice.
No, but even prior to it, because she's very happy with Carla, and she's got a good friendship group, enough to form a band with them.
Oh yeah.
But they keep pushing that now she really wants to know who her birth mother is. But this episode is the most time she's been abandoned ever. Like, this should be the thing that causes her trauma more than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing that was a bit like whiplash was when it cuts to Kate talking to her, and she's like, yeah, and that was a year ago. And you're like, oh, yeah? A year?
Yeah. We get
That's insane.
We get like 3 different ways to symbolize the passage of time in this episode. At least 3. There's that, just the dialogue drop. It's been a year.
Yeah.
And then there's the montage, which
the birthday cards. Yeah.
The whole montage represents the passage of time through birthday cards and the guys she's been seeing. Every time.
2 men.
Yeah. She has an awful lot of birthday cards for someone who is abandoned by everyone. You know what I mean?
She buys them for herself. It's very sad.
Oh, okay. Very sad. Very, very sad. But anyway, Kate. Yeah, so it's been a year. She sees Kate. It was quite nice getting a look at into how Unit see companions now. Like aftercare.
I think I think that was my favorite scene of the episode. I'm not too like connected or anything to Kate Stewart, even though she's been around for a very long time now, which is a shame because I want to love her character. But I really enjoyed watching that scene, and I really enjoyed watching her character in that. It was fun.
Yeah, she's not only a good leader, but just nice and lovely, and actually cares, like the human element, It also confirms that, I mean, we knew that because Wilf was taken care of, wasn't he, by Unit?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is just solid confirmation that Dan probably was given a house and stuff as well, because that was kind of
given a box to sleep in.
No, I think they would have sorted him out nice and cushy.
Nah, because he thinks, people need houses more than me.
That's
he gets
true.
Down into his corner.
Oh,
he shivers to sleep.
He's an honourable man. But yeah, Kate was amazing. She's such a fantastic actor as well. But then it just all goes
in real life.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
she gave us an exclusive.
Well, she told the same story she probably tells at every convention, but if you want to think it's
exclusive, DWPoop exclusive. She doesn't really know anything.
What, Kate?
yeah, she's clueless.
Yeah, she's funny. She loves coats as well. So she said how she kept the coat she wore in the Giggle. Was it the Giggle? And
she did, didn't she?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It was an expensive coat, and she loved it, so they let her keep it as part of a payment, I guess. So I wondered that during this episode, because she's wearing a nice green coat, and I wondered if that was negotiated.
She's nicked that as well.
Yeah. It's a sweetener to keep her coming back.
They pay her in coats exclusively.
Exclusively, yeah. But yeah, Kate comes back. It all goes tits.
Yeah. Well,
very
she's
quickly.
Like, just don't listen to that. Don't listen to her. It's fine. Just don't listen.
Yeah.
Like that. I just thought,
just
it's as stupid as the Carla thing, surely.
Well, that's just after as well, when she's like, my staff are fully trained psychically.
We've
got
I know
mind dampeners and stuff.
In the past 3 stories they've appeared, they've all been brainwashed.
Oh yeah.
They got sun brainwashed by the Meep. Then they got brainwashed by the toy maker. Now they've been brainwashed in this story.
You need to improve your psychic training, guys.
in the Russell T Davies stories, we haven't seen Unit not brainwashed yet.
Yeah, or competent, really.
Yeah, they've just failed every time. Yeah, there's some. Okay, there was a line there that really. Yeah, she says, "I think this timeline might be suspended along your event."
Yeah, I literally wrote that one down as well.
Is she saying that time will reset once we fix this?
I thought that, or as well, was the timeline always going to stop when Ruby passed on anyway, like at the end of her life? Because it takes till the end of her life for the creature to send her back. So was it always going to happen? Was Ruby just being punished in a separate timeline for her entire life, and then it was just going to reset regardless of what happened? Because we know that sorting the whole Mad Jack thing out had no impact. So was it a timeline for Ruby's life?
If that's true, then is Mad Jack still just going to become the Prime Minister and not get scared off by Ruby because it's a different timeline?
Well, the Doctor not being there almost implies to me that it's the Doctor that eventually goes on to stop them, because Ruby has to. Although, did Ruby have to? Was he ever going to get away with it? Maybe it's just, miscommunicated. It's these two separate things.
Well, okay, I had this theory kind of last night. I was thinking it felt very dreamlike, the whole thing. The time jumps and the way that everything in the sort of later bits of the story were told to her just before it all went wrong, as if she's dreaming all of this up. The Doctor last tells her about this evil Prime Minister in the far future, so then she dreams of stopping it, and all these things. But she doesn't know Kate Stewart, so I don't know how that works. So I don't think it is a dream.
Yeah, Dictionary says, my interpretation was that Ruby sort of bounced off the end of the suspended timeline, and the old lady version was her fly backwards in time to the point of departure. Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't think that the old lady is old Ruby.
No, I don't think that. I mean, they're played by different people anyway.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that as if it's like fact that it's always been old Ruby, and I didn't take the ending as that whatsoever. Because also, when Ruby's seeing through the eyes of the old lady, it's at a point before she appeared previously, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Before she steps on the thing. So
yeah, I took the end as well. I have lots of different ideas about. I think maybe Ruby's so powerful and she doesn't even know it. She can hijack into something like that. Possess a strong being. Because she says some weird lines. I don't think I wrote them down. About how it's took her all her life, and I don't know. It makes it sound like she's just been like, screw it. I'm just gonna hijack your body and go back in time. But I don't know.
The dictionary says, if I remember correctly, the captions did say "old Ruby" at some point. Yeah, that was the her voiceover when you got the shot of like your hands holding out. That's old Ruby's voice. So it seems like she's having a vision or seeing through the eyes of the old lady. But we kind of know what the old lady looks like, and it's not her. And then also. And then, sorry, I just read the chat. A lot of lines says Kate Stewart is an anagram of "eat wet carts." So yeah. Anyway,
I think you're onto something.
But like we know what the old lady looks like, and it doesn't look like old Ruby. And then I don't know if you've seen what she looks like close up, but she's got this weird kind of like makeup.
Yeah. Well,
that's weird.
No, yeah. I like how no one could get. However you look at her, It's as always as if you're 73 yards away.
Yeah. There was a bit where it said, let me see if I can. I can't find the note. It's when they're looking at the photos of it, and she says something like, you can't see her through any other. It has to be like that distance away. It has to be with these kind of like lenses with the human eye and stuff like that. But that implies that
if you take a picture closer, it still appears as if it's 73 yards away. Like,
is it?
Yeah, I think you can get closer, but the picture will look like it's the quality of 73 yards away. You can't get.
As if it's
Kate said
zoomed in.
No, what Kate said is it always looks the quality is the same as someone with 20/20 vision standing 73 yards away from them at all times. So it's locked to the human perception.
Okay, I took that as you could only take a photo from that length, and if you get any closer, she's just invisible. But that makes more sense.
Yeah. It does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay.
I like that bit as well, because Ruby's like, I bought the most expensive camera I could buy, and Kate's like, our equipment's a bit more sophisticated than that. Yeah. Which is funny to me. In that scene as well, I wrote down because my thought was just hop in a boat and get into the middle of the ocean. Because do you reckon the entity would swim or hover or not come or drown? Like,
I think it would kind of hover. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Ruby doesn't want to do it.
She'll be under the water, and Ruby will have a kind of idea that it's there, like she does in a locked room, right?
Yeah. Who Theory says Ruby bought the most expensive camera just to see her face when she could have, use binoculars or something. Yeah. I suppose maybe she tried that. She might have been getting desperate. But I thought, oh, why can't you just, go somewhere where you couldn't possibly be followed? But Kate actually brings it up and asks, like, why don't you get in a plane or a boat? And Ruby's scared it would kill her, which is interesting because she must know internally that there's some kind of connection.
Tether,
yeah.
It reminds me of it's quite common that when people give birth, even though they're still not physically connected to the child, they feel like if they let go or something of the child, then they could die, even though they're not, living off them or anything like that anymore.
Okay.
It kind of gave me this weird vibe of like Ruby, in a sense, being a mother to this thing.
Yeah.
And her accepting it. And I thought that was interesting. I really like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the Kate bit. I wonder what
my last note about the Kate bit is there's a QR code on the table that is so in focus in one shot that I had to pause it to make sure it was just a menu.
Yeah, did you manage to scan it?
No. It did say menu, but I wanted to scan it anyway, but it wouldn't let me, which is a shame.
You might have been onto something there. The Kate scene as well, I guess, to my final thought is whatever it does to people, this entity, it's not enough. So in Kate's instance, she's, she wants to defend the Earth from threats and stuff. So whatever it didn't make Kate see Ruby as a threat to be eliminated, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
Kate just wanted nothing to do with her. So that's interesting, because Kate could have just turned around and been like, open fire. But
I don't. Yeah. That would have been amazing. she does that look, and then she's just like, fire!
Yeah.
Just RPGs and cars flying towards her.
All the people on the outside cafe just blowing up.
That would have been amazing. Oh, it just turned into like Hot Fuzz from then on. Oh, that would have been the best twist of genre.
Yeah,
that would have been fantastic.
So moving on from the Kate scene, anyway. What's next? So we spoke about the montage. I found that silly. It was too on the nose. And you know, aging Ruby up with just glasses. I pointed this out on Twitter. Right? It's not amazing, but you get the point. I don't think age makeup would sell that more. No. We understand that time's passed, so
yeah,
it just is what it is.
We know she's older. We don't need much more.
Yeah. Could you not see the birthday cards?
Yeah. What if it was only like a year, but then she just has a really bad perception of time?
Yeah. Well, she's just addicted to buying herself birthday cards. Yeah.
Well, what was the next bloody scene? Oh, she sees
I wanted to say the montage of the dates.
I thought
it was funny. She's when she's growing up, she always seems to have great music. She always seems to have a glass of wine in her hand, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
But there's the bit where she's distant, and then he says, current date says, and in the bedroom, or like something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just picturing the old lady, creepy old lady just there when, you know.
Oh God!
And that's why she's distant. But then she sets it straight, and she turns around on him and says, "You're the problem. You're bad."
Yeah.
In bed, and then just leaves.
He takes it quite well.
Which is how most of my relationships end. But yeah, he takes it fairly well. Yeah, I know. So after that, she sees Mad Jack on the television, and
William.
she's like, I know what to do now. I'm going to join his party and help him rise to power.
Well, you know, she says, "Oh, you know, I'll help carry the coats and whatnot." Cuts to her cutting the coats. Good joke. So he's on telly, and he basically immediately gives away that he definitely wants to launch nukes at other places. No doubt about it. And one thing that confused me was later on, she said to Marta, was her name? Marty?
Marty, yeah.
That like, oh, I'm sorry, I needed to be sure and stuff. And I thought, well, I was pretty sure he was the baddie.
The warning signs were there. The doctor as well basically outlined it to her.
He was fantastic. He was a great villain. I wish we saw more of him.
Yes, yeah. He was so good.
good.
The one thing I didn't like the addition of, and Russell's done this twice now, is the Prime Minister having an abusive relationship with their partner. Because
when was this done before? What,
the Master, yeah. It's it's similar.
Yeah, but the thing is, the one in this episode is a lot more brutal. It is hauntingly brutal
real
for Doctor Who. Yeah,
it felt too real.
Weird. I did not expect it to imply what it implied. That was
I just didn't know if it was necessary, because Ruby, I think she knows it's going on, and like you said, she apologizes.
We know he's
to
a
her.
baddie. It's a nuke. He's a baddie.
Yeah.
We didn't need the whole harassment abuse segment as well. That didn't really go anywhere.
No, it didn't. It was just to make him seem worse, I think, which was horrible. And I guess in a way to make Ruby seem bad, because she was aware, but she had to wait to make sure.
For nothing. I don't know what she was making sure. He might just be a good guy underneath it all. I just have to make sure.
Yeah. And was she specifically waiting for them to get to the football pitch to do the 73 yards thing? Because
no, it was just because it was a television broadcast, and she was like, the whole world will be watching. I need to do this now.
It's convenient that she's in a big open space.
Yeah.
I didn't like that bit. It was creating I don't know, like a false forced tension where Ruby gets out her mobile phone and then she has this app that says how far away the thing is, and she starts.
Yes, and very quickly.
It starts off from 50, and she very slowly walks backwards when all these people are like, "Get on the floor!"
With guns.
With guns, and what I would have done is turned. I'm like, okay, I'm like 20 yards off. I could jog slightly. I get maybe they would have shot, but she could have picked up the pace. You know, she took her time.
There's a bit earlier where William says, "That's what app in my name means. It's not those apps which you used to have on your phone." And I think that's a bit of a weird ad. Does Russell really think in 20 years applications won't exist? Like, that's odd to me. But then Ruby has seemingly apps on her phone anyway.
I wrote this down because it annoyed me. So the app thing annoyed me because we jump into the future and the phones have seemingly not changed at all. I think they have like the camera on the top for some reason. But by and large, phones are the same, but they apparently don't use apps. Which, by the way, might not be a million miles from the truth because with like AI integration, you might get to the point where there's no need for an app interface. You just ask your phone to, but whatever. Phones are basically looking the same. But then I wrote down other technology in it too. TV. Ruby has a TV in her room, right? And it's got rounded corners.
Yeah,
and that wound me
very
up.
high tech.
It's like, how is that an advancement? Or I know it's a stylistic choice just to be like
the screen.
Yeah, you're losing real estate of the screen. Like that. So that was annoying. And then she looks out the window in the same bit, and there's a hologram outside her window. It's a blink and miss it thing, and a drone flies past.
A drone flies past earlier as well.
Okay, I missed that. But then the one I couldn't stand was when old Ruby gets out the car and her carer says, "Sorry, Ruby, we can't go any further. I can't get a signal for the engine this far out." What? What does that mean?
What's it run off?
What?
The fuel is Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yeah, Wi-Fi car. Oh. It's just pointless world building stuff.
Really weird. Yeah, really. It reminds me of those like random texts you see in Black Mirror, but all of it made no sense to a comedic level. It actually reminded me a lot. I don't know how much you remember of this, but the K9 spin-off series.
Yeah.
The Australian thing set in London were just holograms randomly everywhere outside your windows shouting at you.
Yeah.
And it just felt like the same future. So maybe K9 is canon.
Ah, okay. You heard it here first, people. Dictionary says, nobody tell these two about mobile phones in 2024 if rounded screen corners are a red line. Right. Yes. I understand what you're saying. But the screen in question, so with your rounded phone screen, it doesn't like cut off the image. This one in the episode, it's so rounded, it's like you're surely losing, it's not adjusted the picture size to see the whole picture. You're clearly just losing out on like
you're losing
the image.
The corners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird.
But these are minor things anyway. It's just there are things that stuck out to me.
It's not though. It is like it set up a whole world and it did it bad. Like I don't think it's minor to say the world building was bad,
Yeah,
I can't name one thing that they added in the future bits that felt right. It was all just really weird things.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the future a lot of the time. I guess that's why they had to really force it with the visuals and that like them lines.
Lived in the same flat for like 40 years. That's quite good.
Yeah, maybe she liked it because it meant she found the perfect flat where the entity was always out in in that the front of the flats. It meant she could keep an eye on it if she wanted. Yeah,
lower down as well, so it's not always in our eye line.
Yeah. So yeah. Where are we at anyway?
Prime Minister. She scares the Prime Minister, and he just...
The shot of him running out the stadium is so funny.
They got such a good camera shot of him just sprinting away.
Yeah. Just resigns.
This is where I have a problem with this. I don't understand why he ran. All right, something was said. Sure, they all seemed pretty. Yeah. They all seemed pretty scared or angry or something with Ruby. But why would it make him resign?
I don't know.
I don't.
Maybe
they're all
maybe he's scared
Ruby.
of her.
So he resigns?
Surely
he's just like, banish her.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I thought when it spoke or they heard the old woman or something, and they all turned to look at her. I thought, oh God, he's gonna be like, open fire or something like that. But then they just all fucking run. I don't know. I don't get it.
I think maybe it has a different reaction for everyone. Maybe you face your own worries and fears. You could maybe argue that point
but they all turn to Ruby.
I don't know.
They all were angry at Ruby, except for him for some reason that's never explained. But if I don't know why she thought it would work if everyone else is angry with her or just wants nothing to do with her. I'm not sure why she thought that.
Not everyone was angry at Ruby.
Yeah.
What, everyone the entity got to?
Yeah.
What, the hiker? The person who goes to see her outside the pub? I don't think they're scared of
I said
Ruby.
angry or wants nothing to do with her. So they look at her, scream, run away. It's something to do with Ruby.
Yeah.
Whatever emotions they're feeling, it's always at Ruby. So I don't know why that would make him resign from Prime Minister.
Yeah, a lot of lines says in the chat. What happens if 73 yards woman meets Forrest Gump? Oh, it'd never stop running. Mr. Modius, such good timing with what's going on in the UK in the past week. Yeah, the marketing for Doctor Who's been insane. The amount of things they managed to line up for. Dictionary says, my only guess is that because the suspended timeline is about him somehow, then whatever the old woman says is specifically about him. Maybe. Could be.
Another thing is they ask him why he resigned, and he says, ask her. And I think I like that line a lot, because you don't know whether they mean ask Ruby or ask the old lady.
Yeah, because that happens earlier on in the episode, but we don't have confirmation because Ruby just assumes it means her outside.
Yeah, he was told by her.
Yeah.
But they always turn to Ruby, so I think, I don't know, I saw one theory on Twitter, which was a really cool idea, where it's essentially it is Ruby, the old woman is Ruby dying or something like that. And it's basically confessing because it's Ruby on her deathbed. And so whatever she's saying to these people is her confessions.
Oh, okay.
And it just freaks everyone out. It's just those kind of, creepy folk horror ideas. But I think that fits. But I don't know if I believe it, but I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about this episode is the openness of it allows people to have fun chats and theories, but it's just whether you like stories being that open. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
If you're an uncreative person, which that sounds like an insult. It's not. Just some people don't like making things up. Then it's not going to work for them, really. Is it?
Well,
do you think it would?
But I've seen movies where it's open-ended and I think brilliant, and I've seen ones where they're open-ended and I think you're just a cop-out. So I don't think it's fair.
Some endings are just like they clearly didn't think of an ending. They were like, "Whoa, you come up with one."
Yeah. Or they just want to appear more high-minded than they are. Like, oh, you just don't get it. I'm so artistic.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I feel like Russell T Davies had a clear story he was telling, but whether anybody ever will understand the story is yet to be seen.
Yeah. Humans Call Me Steve says, if they don't resolve some of this stuff later in the series, I'll be really peed off. I think they might keep exploring it, some of it. Because
do you think so? I'm not sure. I see a lot of people saying it's definitely going to be revealed later, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know.
Well, it could be tied to Ruby's powers if she has powers, because we don't know what it is. Is she able to possess things? Like, was that her possessing the entity at the end? Like, we don't know. We don't know what she can do. But one thing I pointed out on Twitter was at the start of the episode, Ruby says, "I've been to Wales 2 times before."
2 times.
At the end of the episode, she says, "I've been to Wales 3 times before." And the 3rd time was now. So it's like she knows, she's remembering it.
She's got a vague memory of it happening. Yeah.
Because some of the criticism I've seen is this story's pointless because Ruby doesn't remember it anyway, so it's just a waste of time. But she might, like somewhere, and we might explore that.
The story Midnight is pointless as well, right? A character doesn't have to remember it for it to be, pointful. Like it's a pointless.
You can enjoy a story. You can enjoy a story anyway. It doesn't have to have a massive. Characters don't have to remember it to be a fun story. But sure.
A lot of lines says 73 yards woman versus the thing in the confession tile. It's just basically, if you put them on a treadmill, you've got infinite power.
What? Who? The creature in the confession
tile? You put the veil. You put the veil on a treadmill, and then the woman on the other side. It will keep trying to walk to her, never get there. Infinite power.
That's a good idea. What about the Weeping Angels versus the 73 yards woman? If she was looking at them, they'd want to run away. But
does she blink? That's the question.
I don't know. If she doesn't, they'd want to be running away, but they can't. They'll be stuck.
They'll be stuck like
that. Yeah.
As Adam Reed said here as well, I liked when Mrs. Flood, the other evil villain, was like, "Now to do with me this."
Yeah, that was quite nice. A self-aware moment.
Like, nope, not me.
Yeah, it's not my episode.
I mean, we got no idea who she is, but I really took that scene as her looking at it, realizing that's not human. I'm going to the basement.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good bit.
Yeah.
I guess we go to Ruby just getting old now.
Yes, I mean, there's not much more to talk about, really. So Ruby gets old, thinking the entity will go now. She doesn't, so does that mean it was nothing to do with the Mad Jack stuff anyway? Who knows? But yes, she's on her deathbed. It's quite sad. She's all alone, basically, but she's fine with it now because she's been abandoned.
My favourite bit is when she says, "I used to be able to make it snow."
Yeah, that was good.
She's like, "Yeah, of course you could."
Yeah, and she swiftly turns off the light as well. Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Makes her seem just like a senile old woman. Bless her. But the fact she can't make it snow now, or rather, it just doesn't appear. Like I said earlier, I think it's symbolic of letting go of that abandonment, or at least being on top of it now. So yeah, and then the scariest bit in the episode happens, which I genuinely was creeped out by. the old lady appears facing the wrong way.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think it's just like, the idea that when you can actually see and comprehend her face, she dies. Maybe because she fully understands it and her brain just switches off out of fear or something. That's a very Lovecraftian idea. But it's she's still doing her hand movements and stuff in a sign language, but she's facing directly the other way, and I don't know how intentional, if that means anything. But it's interesting.
I had a thought. Is it representative of like your life's ahead of you and then your life's behind you? Like the back. I don't know, something in that.
Yeah.
And the fact that I know she turns around at the end, but she slowly backs towards Ruby, and it's like the next we see is the POV, so it's like going into her that way,
Yeah.
So there's multiple different things it could be, but it was genuinely creepy though. But then the things that she says after that just really confused me. She's like, "I'm sorry it took me so long."
Yeah, I think I noted that down because it was weird. I'm sorry it took so long and I tried so hard. What else could I do?
Yeah.
Which kind of implies that she understands what was needed to be done now. But I don't. I've got no clue.
Well, who's she talking to in that scene? Like, why is she talking?
That's a good point. Because she says, and look at me, I was so young. But is she? I assumed she was just talking to, like, herself or like talking to the doctor, even though he can't hear them or whatnot. But she's probably talking to the old woman.
Well, that's why I think she said, like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah, but or was she apologizing for if she was hijacking her body somehow? Because a lot of people think the entity's come back to grant her this gift. I don't know why she'd wait for her to die. Is she still punishing Ruby? But then why allow her to live on after again? So many weird things.
There was a theory, which I quite like, where it's this idea of life is what you make of it, where she's basically cursed, but because she sort of never gives up and she's always hopeful, even in death, the entity grants her freedom.
Yeah, so she did say that
it could just be testing that if Ruby was a nice person, so it goes through her entire life. Maybe that life didn't even happen. It was just a memory that she gained. But if she was just an arse the whole time, maybe she would have just died. That would have been it.
Yeah. That's a good viewpoint on it. Adam Reed says, "I think she was apologizing for breaking the circle." Yeah, surely she's been apologizing all her life, though. I guess she's at the entity's mercy, though. So if the entity wants to punish her this way, then so be it.
I'm surprised they never at any point tried to just put the string back on the little twig.
Well, the damage is done. You break it. It's let loose.
But give it a go. They could have fixed it all. It could have been for nothing.
The funny thing is, it's not that sad. About if Ruby doesn't remember, is that circle is just exposed for some poor person to step on again.
Yeah,
potentially.
But would it have any effect without the TARDIS?
Or could it be worse?
Oh God!
Like with the perception filter was hiding this entity from people.
And from Ruby as well, actually, because she couldn't see her properly.
Yeah. So if the entity wasn't perception filtered, would it be making everyone around it crazy?
Yeah, so maybe it was the TARDIS protecting Ruby, and then if Ruby, without the TARDIS, it would have just been like this demon-like thing where if you look at it, you're dead.
Yeah.
God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, no one go to Wales. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
That's the moral of the story, I think.
Wales isn't a nice place. Is the
Yeah.
moral of the story?
Don't go to Wales.
Nobody go to Wales unless it's a city, which you're safe.
Yeah. Well, that's all my notes I have for the episode. I liked it. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is I don't think I took anything from it. I don't think I learned anything more about Ruby that I didn't know before. Especially as every episode it's hammering it in. Who's my mum? Why am I abandoned? Every episode. It's not like we've forgotten about this for a while. So to have a whole episode,
didn't want you.
Yeah. So to have a whole episode on what the whole theme of the show has been anyway, it seems kind of redundant.
Yeah, you could probably skip all of the episodes this series. You could probably skip, and it would still work.
In terms of the bigger picture.
Oh, instead of Space Babies, I guess, because you'll sort of skip a bit. I guess you don't need it, though.
No.
Like if you skip Space Babies, you go straight to. If you had to skip one story, I think you could skip all of them.
No, you learn in the Devil's Chord that Ruby has a song in her.
Oh yeah, no, you're right there.
Yeah.
You're right there. And the snow thing's first introduced in Space Babies, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Boom, I guess.
All right,
but
yeah.
But then I said this about Boom anyway. The good episode, but am I likely to go back to it and watch clips? Probably not. The Devil's Chord still holds that status for me. Just a fun, good time.
I agree. Although, was this better than Boom?
No.
Okay.
I think
I think I would rate them the same.
I don't know.
They're very different, right? So it's kind of hard to say one's better than the other. But like, I think Boom is probably the better story, really. But I have personal issues with Buffett. he beat me up. It's bad.
Yeah.
I just have problems with some of the way he writes things, but that's all me. And I don't know. This did feel very Stephen Moffat. I kind of would like to see Stephen Moffat write the story and to compare the two versions.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't.
Want to give.
They're very, very
if anyone
similar.
wants to give ratings of the stories, see what other people thought. Really.
Yeah, I think my series ranking so far would have The Devil's Chord at the top, followed by. Mm-hmm. I think you're right about these. At least currently, I think Boom and 73 Yards would be joint.
Yeah, it's like they're both fighting for the top place.
Yeah, and then
it's a hard one.
And then Church, and then Space Babies.
What is the best one?
No, just top to bottom.
Okay. I was going to say Space Babies.
Devil's Chord.
You've changed your
the
tune.
Best one. Then Boom and 73 Yards joint. Yeah, Church and then Space Babies.
The Devil's Chord is an episode I'm going to rewatch quite a few times in my life. I just know it, and I'm going to enjoy it those times I watch it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
I don't know how rewatchable 73 Yards is.
No. There's not very many scenes I'd want to rewatch.
No.
But yeah.
Interesting though.
Dictionary says went to the Doctor Who store at. Is he alright? Went to the Doctor Who store at MCM yesterday. They had Villain Guard shirts on sale. Wonder if they've got episode 3 merch today. Episode 4 rather. Yeah, that's yeah, I wonder what would you sell? What merch would you make? I guess the old lady.
The silhouette. Why is my voice gone?
I think you're dying.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I think this is a sign.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up now.
Okay.
Cool. So that was 73 Yards. Join us next time for another fun adventure. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then we've got to cheeky little outro for you.
We got a whale to get out of, so...
Oh yeah, I forgot about the whale.
Hang on, talking about this episode has given me an idea.
Go on.
We could say embarrassing things over the loudspeaker, and it will come out of his mouth in front of all the other space whales.
Good thing I learned whales. Good job I learned how to speak space well from Dua Lipa.
You mean Duolingo?
No, Dua Lipa, the singer. Anyway, let's do this.
It's working! They're all leaving!
Yay! That means he won't get elected and space nuke the whole of the space universe. Let's get out of here! That was pretty scary. Let's go somewhere nice for a change.
I agree. Where have we landed?
It seems to be some kind of lovely mansion somewhere. If I was to hazard a guess, I'd say it's owned by some social media influencer.